Drop it. Chance. Closer.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pops and Drops podcast. On this week's episode, we have DJ Killian Kade, also known as KILLKADE. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Thank you for hopping on. So just kind of want to talk to you about your experience in the industry. When did you first start in the industry?
I would say I first started probably around 2000. I started just DJing and picking up random parties. I actually did a house party for Strawberry Pickle like 20 years ago.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And like, so that's kind of like where we kind of first met. So it's been an interesting ride since then, but definitely since 2000, I've been kind of addicted to it. So for sure.
Nice. Yeah. Cause you're also the co-founder of Rainbow City, right?
Silent co-founder. We definitely have been working for a number of years to try to make this thing go off, and it's about to hit a new level too. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I was just there a couple weeks ago doing the Yellow Brick Road tour, and the new space is so awesome. I went to the old space a while back, I think probably pre-pandemic, or around 2020, 2021, but the new space is incredible. It's big and I really like it. It's a pretty dope space.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. We actually just had a team meeting, and I think we're gonna do like I said, a level up, and it's gonna be a little bit more reminiscent of the old Rainbow City, except bigger and better. So
nice.
Awesome.
That's dope. So tell me about your like creative process when you go into making a mix. How do you kind of determine?
Well, man, I really go for ambiance. I've always been kind of one of those people. I mean, since starting in 2000, I feel like the mixing style has changed a lot. You have like this mixing style that was kind of classic that would like take you on this journey, right?
Yeah.
Take you on this adventure, and you'd get kind of like full songs. You wouldn't get these tear out things where somebody's just dropping into the next mix and you don't get any flow. Not a lot of transitional elements, I would say, except for like drops and then some tricks and everything like that. But that's where I kind of go for is more the classic style, so that way you can hear what the artist originally kind of intended, but then also boost it a little bit, so that way it really excites people and they're like, whoa, I haven't heard it like this is badass.
Yeah, I really like that.
For sure.
So who would you say kind of influences you? Who are your biggest influences in?
So I would say my biggest influences, so I started out with like Crystal Method, Chemical Brothers, Prodigy. Those were like the hard bangers for me, like back in the day, and I nonstop listened to those thousands of times. And then they and then Icy started coming out with stuff, and he was coming out with a lot of stuff on his own records in the 2000s and whatnot, and really kind of I don't know, kind of jumping off of that was what I guess in a way, I ended up buying these two Moonshine recording records, and it came with this deal where you got 3 more Moonshine albums with the records. So then I ended up getting this album called Tricked Out, and it was by Omar Santana, and it was the first time that I'd ever heard hard hop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like there wasn't anybody else that was bringing anything like that to the table at the time that I heard, like not in mainstream, not with like Oakenfold and DJ Henry and Micro and all like the big people that were out there at the time.
Yeah.
And so after kind of getting stuck on that, I just kind of like went down this rabbit hole where it was all breaks. I couldn't get away. Like I try to go to like more electronic route. I've heard like slower stuff like Lorne and I really like I said, the ambiance and the feeling behind stuff where people get this emotional attachment to something without necessarily something to guide them, like words.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say my heavy influences would probably be like Chemical Brothers, Crystal Method, Prodigy, and then yeah, it's hard to kind of go past that because you have Royksop and everything else that really added some strength throughout the years. And so I would say more like the classic Euro, European electronic artists is where I've kind of been heavily influenced by.
That's awesome. Yeah, Crystal Method. Me and Rowdy, who's my girl, we went to one of our first dates was to see Crystal Method at 45 East, and I think that was the first time I even kissed her. Was
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So was that a couple years ago? Because I think Strawberry and I went to that show, and it was a DJ show, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that means so that was only one of them. When you saw both of them, that was a whole different show, man. Like they bring gear on that you've never seen. If
Yeah.
you've never seen like turntables built onto like a double like a double necked electric guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just wailing on this thing, and then they got the DJ doing the other half. Oh man, it's like a whole other level.
It was.
I guess when you talk about influence too, I saw DJ Swamp back in the day in Seattle, and
Nice.
that was the most as far as entertainers.
Yeah.
Him and superstar DJ Koki are the two biggest people I've seen that can really light up a show, and that's I guess that's for Swamp. That's kind of a joke there, since he lights himself on fire in the middle of the show.
Nice.
But yeah, incredible artists. So.
Yeah. Yeah. The scene has really grown. Everyone, I feel like it's getting a lot less commercial now, and everyone's kind of starting to really come into their own and do their own thing and just try to break the mold as much as they possibly can. It's less like, I don't know, bubblegum. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so necessarily controlled. It feels like with the technology and with the ability for anybody to kind of get like an entry level, a controller, and some, like even Serato Lite. You know what I mean? It's incredibly cheap and easy these days. Back in the day, I mean, dude, I still have my MK3s. I still have my SL box for when I wanted to try to convert to digital. But it's like that with vinyl. Every time you wanted to run a song, you at least had to spend like $7. You know what I mean, on the whole vinyl.
Yeah.
And then you had to carry that stuff, and then you also had needles and everything else. So yeah, it was like, welcome to one of the most expensive hobbies / careers that you'll ever have, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was a DJ back in the 80s, and he was spinning vinyl. He was on the radio, and he worked in downtown Portland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of the place. It started with a C, I think. I don't know. It was at a hotel. He was the DJ at a club at a hotel. And then he moved to St. Louis and ran a radio station. But yeah, it's
interesting. I wonder if he knows my daughter's godmother. She was a DJ in Portland as well. She did that reel to reel, and
nice.
she actually just threw me her whole vinyl collection. She was
that's sick.
like, I love you. So yeah. So I mean, that's always a come up where you're like, oh my god, thank you.
That's pretty dope.
Oh,
yeah. So you also do promoting, obviously, and with working with Rainbow and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the key to getting people in the door? And also, how do you, I don't know if you book it all, but how do you think people get booked? Mainly, what are the factors?
Well, I mean, just I would say recognition and trying to work your way in, like, you know, keep kind of pushing, because I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I took like a 9-year hiatus in New Mexico, where I spun for Graham Central Station for a while, and then came back. I only came back like maybe like 2018, so I've only been back for maybe like 5 years.
Yeah.
But after coming back, it's like you're virtually like an unknown person. In fact, I even went through a DJ name change. And so coming back into the scene, it's like I'm walking in, I find that there's these things called renegades. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then I find out, and I'm like, whoa, this is sick. And then th that kind of allows for you to kind of edge your way in. Actually, I think renegades are great, because it allows for people that are not necessarily going towards the club side of
Yeah.
things, and maybe they're more independent and they're able to play.
Yeah.
You know, you can throw a couple more well-known people onto the lineup, but to be able to get those other people playing, so that way they're not just bedroom DJs, and they have the ability to show their art towards other people, is important.
Yeah.
And then also, along with that name recognition, you know, your social media presence, showing that you are kind of human.
Yeah.
Showing that you have the heart to reach out to other people, always having a positive outlook. I mean, nobody wants to like work with the guy who's like in a bad mood, or
Yeah.
who has some issues with other people. I mean, I don't know. Just personally, when Teddy Gaines and he's the other half of Ravers United, which is the promotional company that we're working with, that we're doing right now. You know, we've talked about it plenty of times, where it's like, hey, look, there's people who we would just rather not hassle with, because it's just a waste of time when you have an overall idea for what you want to do, and somebody has a bad attitude, or they're just really making it super difficult to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna say that you're DJing, then and you want that to be like where you're making money from it, then I'm sorry, you probably should be working with the different types of gear. You might not have access to them, but shit, go to fucking Guitar Center and use their stuff just for a little bit. That's what me and my friends did all the time back in the day. We went to Guitar Center every day and worked on their gear.
Yeah.
Because they're required to have some sort of demo gear for people to be able to try out in their pro audio section. I mean, they should have something that you can try out that's going to be different than what you have. Also, if you're a DJ, you got DJ friends, man. Socialize. Be like, hey, dude, let's get together. If you have the ability to stream or make snaps, you know what I mean? Like, do that. But people want to see that you're on your game and that you're continuously working on your stuff. They don't want to see somebody who's just kind of half-assing it, or the guy who walks in, does his show, and takes right off.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy out in the scene, Steven Weaver. You know Steven Weaver?
No, I don't think I've
So
ever
Steven
met.
Weaver, that guy, great attitude. He's been a KJ, a karaoke DJ for a while, so he has that great KJ kind of attitude, I guess, on the mic.
Yeah.
But like, I was playing a show at Rainbow City. There was like 30 or 40 people there, and I play this on the mic mix that has these amazing songs mixed together. But he runs up on the fucking stage and he goes, "Oh my God, dude, I didn't realize he's wearing the same key. I'm freaking out right now." And then he's like, you know, and I'm like, yeah. And then me and him, you know, we're like hugging each other up on the stage. People like to see that because they recognize, you know, him as well. He's gonna be playing later. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then when he's playing, then all of a sudden he comes down, he gets me, he's like, "Bro, check this out. Check out this drop." And like, him and I are both like bouncing to the drop. And it's like that's a great attitude. That's what people want to see, and that's what people want to be around for.
Yeah.
That's what hypes people up. I mean, because honestly, and I'm not gonna try to get like um uh, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to get all sad and emotional or anything like that. But for I think a lot of people in the electronic community, I think a lot of them have been felt like a little bit ostracized by the rest of society in ways or the places where they wanted to fit in, and so they found this place where they fit in. You know, it's like you got the headbangers, you got the breakers, you got the speaker freakers, you got the drum and bass heads, you got everybody, but it took them to this place
Yeah.
where they were comfortable, and they were found other people that felt the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I was just gonna say to continue that and to make that be your heart and push push that out into the audience is important. When, like I said, when I saw superstar DJ Kyoki, and he spun the best portion was like somebody had thrown a glow stick at him. He stops the entire show, and he's like, hey, this guy's getting kicked out. He's like, but I want to hear all you guys. I don't want to hear any hate. I don't want to hear any yelling. He's like, everybody say love. And everybody's like, love.
Yeah.
You're talking like 500, 600 people in a warehouse. And that was like what, and guaranteed if somebody else is one of the old school heads that's listening to this, they're gonna be like, dude, I was there. I remember that.
Yeah. 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 That's awesome. The scene really, that's why I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the positive energy and the ability to lose yourself and to find a new, better version of you where you're just surrounded by love and music, man. That's what it's all about. That's why I fell in love with it and why I got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's what keeps you going too. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what about what hurdles have you faced within the industry that you've kind of overcame?
Well, like I said, you know, there was a 9-year hiatus where I was gone. I did a DJ name change, and that was definitely a little bit of an obstacle to try to overcome when you have people just like you're coming into a whole new scene. I mean, honestly, being gone for almost 10 years, the scene completely changed. I mean, there was the introduction of like trap and kind of dubstep while I was gone. So I'm like, what am I walking into? So trying to kind of get, maybe even over my own feelings of like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, and then being like, okay, all right, well, I guess I'll try it. And then be like, I kind of like it. That not necessarily an obstacle, because I don't know. I see it as kind of more of a challenge in that way, but it's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
And then there is always the obstacle of feeling as though you're not getting recognized. I think every DJ is going to feel that at some point. You know, there's going to be some floor that you're playing on, and you're going to look up and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
and at some point in your DJ career, and you're going to be like, dude, is nobody hearing this? Like, what the hell? Like, I feel like I'm banging it out. Like, I have the talent. Why isn't anybody here? And to be able to push past that, I think is a large obstacle. To be able to let it kind of flow off of you and say, hey, you know what? It's just because there's other things going on right now. The realization that you are a small speck in a giant universe, and that you are doing what you can, and that things will happen for you. You just got to keep going. I think that's a big one there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main thing is to stay consistent, watch your ego, and just not give up. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, watch your ego for sure. Because the thing is, you might think that you're the shit, but there's always going to be somebody better than you. Always. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Some guy in Tibet is going to be a way better DJ than the best DJ. I swear to God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So what would you say is your biggest like long-term goal, or where do you see yourself in like 10 years? If everything plays out exactly how you want it to play out, where do you want to be?
If everything played out the way I want to play out, I mean, I'd love to be able to play at like Burning Man, or be able to play in like Mexico, like Tulum, or
Yeah.
something like that, because those stages are just insane. And of course, like the speaker communities there are great. Um, but I don't know, to be able to get a little bit more into production, work on mastering a little bit,
Yeah.
and then have a couple tracks, so that way there can be, you can kind of have your own stamp in time. You know what I mean? Where people are playing these songs, they're like, dude, that was a sick song.
Yeah.
Or you can say, hey, you know, I had something up on the charts. A lot of people enjoyed it. And I do feel like I have the ability to make those. I just I'm not to the mastering part yet, so that's why I've been focusing on DJing and focusing on like the sound that I want for DJing,
Yeah.
which you know, I'm getting close to not necessarily perfecting. I don't think we're ever done, but you know, definitely getting up there. I'm liking it for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, to just be able to travel around, and be able to see some excitement and have people here. I mean, honestly, breaks, dude. Like I said, I've been stuck on breaks for years. I think that with the new generations coming in, that I have been asked time and time and time again, after at least half of my sets, they're like, what kind of music was that? And I'm like, bro, that's break.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is breaks, bro. And they're like, really? I've never heard of that. And I'm like, oh my God, you are about to unlock Pandora's box, my friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to be able to kind of because it's like, I feel like it's one of those classic bass genres that keeps things going. And like, whenever I hear the old school heads are like, dude, like you're doing it, man. Keep the breaks alive, because I mean, we got lots of house heads, we got lots of drum and bass people, but I feel like the breaks are a little bit few and far between, and hopefully we can get some more people in on it, because
Yeah.
you never know who's gonna be like the next star. You never know who's gonna like basically the electronic equivalent of curing cancer, you know.
Yeah. Well, everything's cyclical, so breaks will have their moment in the sun again. You know, it's gonna
For sure.
that's the industry. That's, you know, it's all cyclical.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. But ultimately you want to get into the production side and release some stuff. Who is it? Do you have any like dream collabs, or any collabs on your bucket list that you'd want to either tour with or release songs with?
Well, I mean, uh, I would say on the mic, but that guy, like his workflow is so insane. It's like, I don't even know how he even works with anybody else. Yeah, I swear to God, he just grabs a track. He's like, done. I'm done. 5 minutes later, people are like, oh, I was going to ask to work with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love to like maybe work with Baby Ann. I love the flavor that she kind of took from being the protege of DJ Icy. And she had just like these like dark, I just call them dark breaks, dark break sounds that I just like. I love the ambiance of those, but I haven't heard her in a while, or heard much from her. And I would love to be able to basically get with like one of the older people who haven't necessarily come up with any like bangers, and then
Yeah.
try to work with them and be like, hey, look, I'd like to make something more modernized and kind of like reinvigorate you and invigorate myself at the same time. Like let's do it. I actually commented on Anthony Roter, one of his posts that he had made last week. And yeah, I mean, if I ever had the chance to work with him, I'd love to do that, because I was a big fan of his back in the early 2000s. And he had these like straight Euro electro vibes that were just like great. But I mean, we all go through our own emotional things, and he had some hard times to where he just had to take a step back from producing and whatnot. And so like when you ask like who would you like to work with, or I'm talking about, you know, that kind of idea, something like that would like I'm like yeah man, like let's reinvigorate you, man. Like I would love to have somebody's knowledge who's already like who's already done it,
Yeah.
but is maybe being like, dude, what's going on with the scene? Like what do I think sometimes we all have that freeze where we're like, man, what's my problem? Why can't I come up with anything right now? What is
Yeah.
it? And sometimes you just need that one conversation, or you need that one other mind, or that one experience to be able to invigorate you and reignite the flame, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's also something that you can do like right now. You can get, or when you're ready, you can reach
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and I'm sure that they'd be down, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's right now we've been focusing on the promotion
Yeah.
side of things with Ravers United, and been working with lots of, you know, other people like you know, Kiki Alvarez or Carlos Baca from Pop Cart and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we got some bigger stuff in the works. So it's all about juggling and trying to use your time
Yeah.
um, efficiently.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, do you have any we're coming up now on the close to 25 minutes. So, do you have any upcoming things that you'd like to promote or tell the listeners about?
Uh, yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, I'm gonna be spinning at Rainbow City for Orin on August 19th. That'll be with Forest Green. She's featured on the soundtrack for a movie called Groove. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
Oh, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's a classic raver movie. But yeah, that's going to be an amazing show. And then also Teddy Gaines and I, aka That Part, we are going to be doing a show, basically breaking out Ravers United up on Council Crest, September 9th. That's going to be a big one. We got we've been working with Fractured, PDX. We have Kiki Alvarez from what is it? I forgot, something underground. Um, but then we also have Carlos Baca with Pop Cart, and then we're also getting Fox Force 5.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be free, and it's going to be a daytime event. So that should just kind of be able to show our kind of chops and what we're looking to do, and working with the community. We're going to be doing live streaming and then recording the entire thing as well. So should have drones, and should be a great promotional and musical event. So I'm excited for that one for sure.
Awesome. Sick. Cool. Well, thank you again for being on. We are going to play the last 5 minutes of your mix, Break in the Summer, right now. So again, KILLKADE, thank you for joining us, and be on the lookout. All of his information will be on the website, and enjoy his mix.
Thanks so much, man.
fantasy, a 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 fantasy.
Just another freak.